A daring daytime robbery. A gang of criminals smash into a mall jewelry store.
Tonight, armed with hammers, the brazen crime caught on camera. The arrests and the search for suspects who got away. Good evening. The police pursuit spilled out onto the streets in Markham.
Stunned shoppers watching as the dramatic scene unfolded. CTV's Mike Walker joins us live from outside Markville Mall with the story. Mike.
Well, Nathan, Michelle, this brazen smash and grab happened over the lunch hour. Police say they were able to arrest 6 of the suspects involved after some were involved in a collision immediately after fleeing the mall. 10 suspects can be seen smashing the windows of a jewelry store inside Markville Mall. 2 of the suspects are seen using hammers to break into the store and smash display cases, while other suspects are seen stealing items.
These people with the sledgehammer, they were banging the glass, and the glass was shattering, and people shouting, "Don't do it."
The brazen robbery happened over the lunch hour. One witness says the store security guard was assaulted.
They're banging punch with the security guard's face.
Witnesses say it lasted less than 5 minutes. The violent robbery sending mall employees and customers running for safety.
The people, they start running from to the escalator, yelling and screaming, and then I heard there's like a shotgun. I thought that, and then I just closed the door and turn off the light.
Police say some of the suspects took off in this Honda Civic that ended up rear-ending another vehicle at McCowan and Highway 7, injuring 2 people.
The occupants of the vehicle that was rear-ended did receive minor injuries and were taken to a local hospital as a precaution.
That led officers to chasing the suspects on foot. In total, police say they arrested 6 suspects. 2 were found inside this Tim Hortons a short distance from the scene.
I just saw they were searching everywhere and they found him in the Tim Hortons and grabbed him.
It's the second smash and grab robbery in York Region this week. On Monday afternoon, 4 suspects robbed the People's Jewelry store at Hillcrest Mall. But at this point, police say the 2 incidents are not connected.
We can understand the level of fear that this can cause. However, these are targeted incidents.
Police say no one inside the jewelry store was injured. Inside the mall, a significant police presence throughout the afternoon as investigators collect evidence. Neighboring businesses say thieves have targeted this store before.
This is the second time actually I was witnessing the same jewelry store that they attacked. I felt like I cannot explain that. Am I really seeing this?
At this point, investigators are continuing to determine how many other suspects were involved. And York Regional Police say this investigation is still in the early stages. At this point, there's no word on charges. Reporting live in Markham, I'm Mike Walker. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Staying in Markham, police are asking for help investigating a shooting Saturday night. Footage from around 9:30 shows a dark gray car in a plaza near Bullock Drive and Hawk Ridge Avenue. The window rolls down and a suspect appears to fire multiple gunshots. Emergency crews later found a man inside a business with non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators are now searching for the suspect and the car, last seen fleeing west on Bullock.
Also tonight, Canada's largest airline opts to ban carry-on bags for its discount fare customers. When the change is coming down the runway, still ahead.
But first, we turn to what could be a challenging commute home.
Toronto and other parts of the GTA hit with the first blustery blast of wintry weather this season. CTV's Rahim Ladani has been monitoring the impact. Rahim, the snowy weather met with both grins and grimaces today.
Well, Michelle, if you're on the road right now, you're likely grimacing because another system of snow is currently falling here along the 401 and the Allen. We've certainly seen a slowdown in the evening commute. In fact, OPP tell us they've been dealing with 24 more accidents than normal throughout the day right across the GTA because of these wintry conditions. The kids will say it finally tastes like winter. Bundled up in snow pants and toques, for them, the conditions are just right.
I'm probably gonna throw snowballs on my brother. Yeah. In the early morning, I just looked outside and saw the snow, and I was really happy.
The joy has likely faded, though, for commuters. Icy conditions forced traffic to a standstill on Highway 115 north of Clarington. In Durham Region, the wintry blast created messy conditions for drivers and those traveling on foot as crews quickly try to clear the sidewalks.
That our winters are so different now than they used to be. Climate change, it clearly is showing up from almost one winter to the next. And so I think this winter will be, more, as they say, of a winter, but it won't be memorable. It won't be a punishing.
In the city of Toronto, roads were treated with a winter solution on Tuesday before any snowflakes hit the ground. Staff say 800 pieces of road equipment and 300 pieces of sidewalk equipment are ready to be deployed. There are also 2 new protocols this winter.
All cycling infrastructure now across the city, no matter the design, will be cleared at 2 centimeters of accumulation. All our sidewalks will also be deployed at 2 centimeters, both salting and plowing.
In Richmond Hill, though, the operation may be less efficient. QP 905 workers have been on strike for nearly 2 weeks. Many of them are responsible for plowing and salting. The city is warning this could delay snow clearing efforts up to 2 days on residential streets, as the two sides remain far apart on wage demands.
They're relying on contractors who probably have never done this type of work before, who don't know the city of Richmond Hill. Our employees are doing dry runs for over a month prior to any storm to get the lay of the land.
Ontario Provincial Police say while some regions are dry, drivers should still avoid non-essential trips and asking those on the road to slow down.
If you only realize the roads are slippery when you're hitting the brakes to avoid a collision, it's probably not a good time. So adjust your driving in advance.
Responsible driving tips for the entire season. Now, you heard in the story that both cycle paths and sidewalks will be cleared at 2 centimeters of snow accumulation. The city says that expressways will be cleared at 2.5 centimeters of snow, but the residential streets will not be plowed until 8 centimeters of snow accumulates. Reporting live, I'm Raheem Ladani. Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Raheem. And it's not letting up in Muskoka. As residents continue to dig out from a major blast of wintry weather on the weekend, another system is making its way through the region. This time it's Huntsville's turn to get the brunt of it. Police are advising people to avoid non-essential travel. A state of emergency also remains in effect in Gravenhurst. Snow clearing crews from Simcoe County, Vaughan, and York region have been brought in to help.
And here at home, a lot less snow than up there, but the flurries are flying this hour. This is a live look outside. The winter weather travel advisory remains in effect this evening as the wind and our first dose of snow this season make for potentially precarious conditions out there. Let's bring in Jessica Smith, who's had her eye on all of this all day long. What are you seeing this hour?
It is still really windy, so that is adding to what is going to be the challenging part of this system. This Alberta Clipper, we've been watching it kind of making its way last night throughout the day today. This is the second wave of the same system making its way through, of course, just in time for the drive home for a lot of people. We're holding on to heavier snowfall total amounts, again, along those eastern shorelines of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay, so cottage country, and then areas down towards London getting in as well, and then north of the city, say through Curtis. Now, for a good portion of southern Ontario, we're still under a blowing snow advisory, a travel advisory, snow squall watches and warnings as this system continues to push through. But the good news is, as we get through the overnight, we do get a little bit of a break. Now, temperature-wise, it is on the cooler side, but the wind really is the biggest challenge. It's been a southwesterly wind, which has been helpful. It becomes northwesterly tomorrow and really cools things down. Coming up, I'll have a full look at your long-range forecast, but we're going to switch gears and check in with our Andrea Case, who is at the Yorkminster Citadel as we continue to build a toy mountain. Andrea, how's it going?
We're not at the Citadel. We are at Access Storage in Leaside. Everybody say hello. Hello. And boy, do we have a crowd here tonight. Now, we are at Access Storage. I don't know if you ever had a lot of stuff. My husband says I have way too much stuff in the house, and I probably could use a storage container, but I wouldn't be able to see my stuff. But we are here with
Jamie
from the Salvation Army and Jan from Access Storage. And we've got lots and lots of people to talk to later on in the show. But right now, I think you have a special presentation for Jan.
Absolutely, we do. So this is a special evening because we want to acknowledge 15 years of outstanding partnership. Thank you. Thank you. With the Salvation Army. You've impacted lives, you've given children and families hope, and we want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
This is wonderful. Thank you so much. We appreciate it so much, and it means a lot.
Oh, that's
Thank you so much, guys. We've enjoyed our partnership throughout the 15 years. You know, we believe in what you guys do. We believe in giving back to the community, and you know, I'm here supported by my team. The community of Leaside as well has been a tremendous support, and I want to thank everybody here for making a difference.
Okay, I'm wrapping you up. Okay, there's so many people here you're going to get to see throughout the show as we build a toy mountain. We'll be back.
Thank you, Andrea. Well, to other news, there's more fallout tonight over the audit of the Ontario Place redevelopment.
Opponents say the West Island has been destroyed in a rigged process, and they say the money being spent amounts to a $2 billion subsidy to a private company. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris reports.
After the Auditor General dug up unfair practices in the process of picking a vision for a new Ontario Place, advocates of the waterfront site want the deal cancelled.
The cost there is in the millions, where the cost to move forward is in the billions.
Ontario Place for All is calling on the infrastructure minister to go, a call echoed at Queen's Park by the opposition leader.
Billions over budget, wasted hundreds of millions to close the Science Centre, handing over bags of taxpayer cash to subsidize a luxury spa company.
Kinga Surma herself not at the legislature. We were told yesterday she was ill.
For far too long, Ontario Place was neglected, left to deteriorate, and underutilized.
Defending the government's plan and process. No apologies from government either on its plan to close most supervised drug consumption sites. The auditor found the call was made without consultation or a plan to tackle the possibility of more deaths, ER visits, or public drug use.
We need to give them hope and a pathway out, and that's what we're doing with our Heart Hub model.
One group wants Shelley Spence to take another look, a value for money audit on closing consumption sites.
We firmly believe that there is a net benefit to all taxpayers, whether people are using substances or not.
The Ford government spent more last year than ever before on advertising, more than $103 million.
What if we told you there's a place where it's all happening?
The auditor found more than 60% of those ads, like this one, wouldn't have been allowed under previous rules, saying they're more about creating a good impression of progressive conservatives than sharing information about programs and services.
Very proud that we're able to tell the important features that were priorities for the people of Ontario.
I call BS. It is a waste of taxpayer dollars for the government to put their own personal partisan political interests ahead of the people of Ontario.
The auditor found about $64 million worth of ads fell into that partisan category, but current rules allow them.
That is money that could have gone into our healthcare system, into our education system, into making people's lives more affordable.
In opposition, progressive conservatives had promised to prevent these kinds of ads, change laws. Now the finance minister says they have different priorities. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A woman who alleges she was sexually assaulted by Toronto councillor Michael Thompson was cross-examined in a Bracebridge court today. Thompson is accused of sexually assaulting two women at a luxury Muskoka cottage on Canada Day weekend in 2022. One of the alleged victims asserts that Thompson massaged her sexually under her bathing suit while applying sunscreen on her. Today, the defense challenged the details of how she was allegedly assaulted. She told the court she was not paying attention to the specifics of what was happening in the moment, as she had an out-of-body experience and disassociated herself while it was happening. The defense asked her whether that meant she was hallucinating. The woman responded no. Thompson has pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Police from the GTA and across the country gathered in Montreal as officials updated their list of Canada's most wanted fugitives. The BOLO program aims to raise public awareness of the most wanted fugitives being sought by police. A $250,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest of the two men at the top of the list, Dave Turmel and Ali Boivant. Turmel is the alleged head of the Blood family mafia and is wanted for drug trafficking, conspiracy, and assault with a weapon. The number two suspect, Boivant, is alleged to be a drug trafficker.
You know, our priority is the same as the priority of the Quebec City Police Service and Sûreté du Québec is to apprehend for these individuals to be apprehended as soon as possible.
An additional 8 rewards of up to $50,000 each are also being offered for other suspects on the top 25 list. They include 2 homicide suspects sought by Toronto police, Adrian Walker and Philip Grant.
Air Canada is joining the list of airlines charging passengers for carry-on luggage depending on their fare type and destination.
CTV's Adrian Gobriel explains the impact on travelers and the pushback from Ottawa.
There's an old traveler's cliche, pack your patience, and those here at Toronto's International Airport tell me they've lost theirs with Air Canada. The airline announcing that as of January 3rd, passengers traveling in North America or to a sunny southern destination who opt for a basic fare ticket will have to pay to check their carry-on duffel bag or large backpack. And if you want to switch your assigned seat before takeoff, prepare to get dinged for that as well. The move has prompted the Transportation Minister to call a meeting with Canada's airline CEOs this month to discuss the new fees. In a post on X, the minister wrote, "I was just made aware of a decision by Air Canada to introduce new carry-on baggage fees. I am extremely concerned. Canadians work hard and save up to travel. They rightly expect excellent service, not extra fees." Air traveler rights activists say today's announcement is par for the course.
With a carry-on, whether the carry-on is in the belly of the airplane or in the cabin, it makes no difference. It doesn't consume more fuel. So essentially, they are trying to monetize now every possible aspect of your travel experience and say, well, we are going to use that space for people who are willing to bid more, pay more. But let's face it, most people will be traveling with a carry-on of some size.
For those purchasing a more expensive comfort fare ticket, Air Canada says it will be increasing the number of included checked bags from 1 to 2. We reached out to Air Canada today requesting an interview. They declined, saying in part that the moves announced are in step with other Canadian airlines. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
The Prime Minister and Leader of the Opposition faced off in question period today with Pierre Poilievre taking aim at the Liberal government over its policies on illicit drugs.
He teamed up with the BC NDP to decriminalize fentanyl, crack, and heroin. He lowered jail sentences for mass producers of deadly fentanyl. And 80% of the fentanyl made in Canada is done so using ingredients that are not even regulated, but come right into our country.
The Conservative leader pointed to the impact concerns over fentanyl production may have on trade relations amid the threat of tariffs by U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. The Prime Minister then fired back.
Speaker, unfortunately, we've seen that the Conservative leader's answer to this terrible tragedy hitting so many Canadians with the toxic drug epidemic is to stand for photo ops in front of encampments and try to use them for cheap votes. Exploiting Canadians is not the way to move forward. We've anchored ourselves in science, in working in partnership with municipalities, with frontline workers, with provinces.
The Prime Minister also said Ottawa is working with the United States to address the issue of precursor chemicals used in drug production. The exchange comes before the latest Conservative non-confidence motion in the Liberal minority government tomorrow, which is not expected to pass.
Canada still has not reached a 2% GDP spending on defense, but NATO's Secretary General says it's already time to set higher targets.
If longer term we want to keep our deterrence at the level it is now. Now it is okay. We can now defend ourselves and nobody should try to attack us. But I want that to stay the same in 4 or 5 years.
Mark Rutte also called for better protective measures for NATO countries, saying Russia and China have tried to destabilize and divide with acts of sabotage, cyber attacks, and energy blackmail. Ministers also discussed ongoing ways to support Ukraine against Russia's ongoing invasion.
The head of the largest private health insurance company in the U.S. was gunned down this morning in New York, and police are calling the incident a targeted attack. Police say Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, was walking outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan when he was shot in the back. The 50-year-old was taken to hospital but did not survive. The company was hosting an Investor Day event at the time but canceled it when the news spread.
The full investigative efforts of the New York City Police Department are well underway, and we will not rest until we identify and apprehend the shooter in this case.
The NYPD says the suspect first fled on foot and then on an e-bike. There's still no word on a motive. United Healthcare shared a statement remembering Campbell as a highly respected colleague and friend.
South Korean opposition parties have submitted a motion to impeach President Yoon Suk-yeol over his shocking and short-lived declaration of martial law. Protesters took to the streets in Seoul overnight to demand Yoon's resignation over the controversial decision. Parliament rejected the surprise declaration of martial law that attempted to ban political activity and censor the media in the key Western ally. 6 opposition parties have submitted a bill to impeach Yoon, with voting set for Friday or Saturday.
Le Premier ministre doit remettre au président de la République la démission du gouvernement.
And more political turbulence in France. The country's parliament passed a non-confidence motion in the government of Prime Minister Michel Barnier, forcing him to resign today. This marks the first time a vote like this has succeeded since 1962. The right-wing and left-wing blocs outnumber the centrist bloc backed by President Emmanuel Macron, who will try to choose a new PM with sufficient support.
Coming up, honoring Canada's best parliamentary style. Olympic and Paralympic athletes take it to the House and are celebrated for their achievements in Paris.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, cryptocurrency scams continue to be a massive problem. An OPP investigation just identified 2,000 victims in Canada and around the world. We speak with 2 people in the GTA who were defrauded. All of that story just ahead.
We have a beautiful location inside Access Storage, but we're outside now in the snow for a reason. If we just kind of move aside here, you can see we've got a storage container, a cubit full of toys. Jamie, come talk to me here. This is pretty amazing. Access Storage, once again, has gone above and beyond. When you look at all these toys, how are you feeling?
It makes me feel confident that we're going to be able to meet some of the need that we're experiencing this Christmas season. It's through generous partners like Access Storage and Jen and the whole team who step up every year to help the Salvation Army out. We're celebrating 15 years of partnership, knowing that there are so many children out there and families that can use this support. It's quite encouraging this evening.
Okay, so when you look at all these toys, you get all emotional. You're an emotional guy. What's your favorite Christmas memory, real quick?
Opening up Christmas gifts on the 25th. I didn't know what it was, just tearing apart at that paper and just being surprised.
Okay, well, lots of surprise for kids coming up because of the donations that they've made here. So many more people to talk to. I'm going to head back inside because all of this is going to melt in the snow as we build a toy mountain. Let's go.
And it is snowing. It is December after all, and we're holding on just a little bit above that seasonal point for the most part right across southern Ontario. Now, it is going to get cooler before we do a flip of the script and go back to warm weather. I'll have all those details coming up, and stay with us. We have another full night of great shows for you right here on CTV.
Cryptocurrency fraud is on the rise, with many investors being scammed after seeing fake advertisements on social media sites.
The OPP released findings from an operation called Project Atlas, which identified more than 2,000 victims of cryptocurrency fraud. Pat Foran has the details on Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan and Michelle. We've been doing stories on cryptocurrency scams for years, but with artificial intelligence, the problem is getting worse. Many people are being fooled by fake news stories or advertisements that claim you can make a lot of money, and it's just a scam.
I invested, somebody phoned me, they set up an account.
Earlier this year, Gord Takasaki of Brantford was on Facebook when he saw an advertisement that said he could make money fast investing in cryptocurrencies.
Elon Musk has that ad with AI. He's got guys like Wayne Gretzky or, Trudeau was on it lately.
Criminals are using AI to manipulate videos to make it appear celebrities and politicians are endorsing crypto investments, but the ads are fakes. Takasaki started small but kept investing more money when it looked like his investments had quadrupled. But when he tried to take funds out, he couldn't.
He said he didn't receive it. And that's when I started saying, what's going on here?
Takasaki was scammed out of $30,000.
An ad on Facebook. It was 2 famous celebrities talking about how you can make all this money on this app.
Marion from the GTA asked us not to identify her. She also started investing after seeing ads on Facebook. Over time, she kept putting in more and more money.
But the scammer was so convincing that, I was going to make way more money investing with him than I could ever make with the banks. So I fell for it.
Marion lost her life savings of $200,000.
With crypto, once the funds go, it's very difficult, almost impossible in some cases, to have it reversed.
An investigation by the OPP into crypto fraud called Project Atlas uncovered 2,000 victims in Canada and a dozen other countries. Some victims lost tens of thousands of dollars, but one Toronto investor lost $10 million. Victims were lured into investing after seeing fake ads.
They dump in quite a bit of their life savings or lines of credit just to fund these crypto investments, only to find out that they've lost their money.
I just kept sending the money. It was like I was brainwashed and being controlled and manipulated. And I just kept believing it and dreaming that I was going to have all this money.
And many people who are scammed are contacted by other groups that say for a fee they can recover their lost money. It's just another scam, and victims who fall for it are then defrauded twice. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Well, on the drive into work, the snow was a concern, and now the drive home, we've got the same issues.
Definitely. We don't have, it's not as though you're wading through all this snow, but for some reason, even with just a few flakes and then the wind, it does slow things down.
It is that shock to the system, too, right? That first real snow of the season. But for the folks behind us skating at Nathan Phillips Square, they don't mind, right? They don't mind the messier weather. But as you make your way out this evening, it is going to remain really windy out there. We're not done with the snow as we head into this early part of our night, so keep that in mind. It will definitely impact things. But for now, you know what? If you're outside and you're dressed right, you're getting maybe your first skate on of the season, it's not so bad. And the downtown core really escaping the bulk of the heavier snow. If you were kind of along that line that is north of the 401, for the most part, you're looking at heavier snowfall total amounts. But it really is the wind that is the bigger challenge. Again, the good news is, because it is still relatively mild, all things considered, we're not looking at that accumulation really being an issue so much on the road with this particular snow event. But for now, we're sitting at 0. It feels like -5. You know, for the most part, with the exception of extreme northern Ontario, temperature-wise, it's not the worst. As we head into this evening, we're sitting around -1. Seasonally, we should be around -4, so we're still above that seasonal norm. The wind chill is still obviously a bit of a factor, but it is a manageable evening, all things considered. But that wind doesn't dissipate until we approach midnight, and then it just picks back up and changes direction into the day tomorrow. We're making our way into the end of the week, sitting right around 0, so we're not too far off the seasonal norm. We're likely to still see some pop-up flurries here and there, but we will actually see a little sunshine as we head into that first half of our day. We are still looking at snow squall watches, warnings, and travel advisories, as well as blowing snow, so just take your time as you head out this evening. The bulk of that low pushed its way throughout the day. Another one, part of the same system, kind of pushed its way just east of us. What's left is a trough, so that's going to be not as strong as the initial low, but still bringing the chance of some leftover flurries as we get into our evening. It's really not until about 10:30 to about 11 o'clock where the bulk of the snow at least pauses. We're still looking at a few bands off of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay throughout the day tomorrow. The cloud cover rolls in midday. Again, we're not done with the flurry activity, but the bulk of it, again, staying along those typical areas that see lake effect snow thanks to the northwesterly wind we have throughout the day tomorrow. Maybe a light flurry into the early part of our evening. And then honestly, it's really not too bad as we head in towards our Friday as far as active weather goes. And then as we step into the weekend, we start to see a switch flip, and we're going back on the positive side, and we're watching for rain. So it's a short-lived kind of snow event. As we head into the day tomorrow, it is relatively cool, very windy as we head throughout the day into your Friday. The bulk of that flurry activity probably gone as we head into the mid part of our day. But I'm skipping ahead to Sunday, 6 degrees, and then by the beginning of next week, the snow will likely, at least for this round, will be gone. We'll check back in with Andrea Case. She is at Access Storage tonight. We're building a toy mountain. Miss Andrea, how is it going now?
Are you kidding? This is the best party ever. I've got armrests here. Children here. We've got kids from Leaside Hockey. We've got the Scouts here. We've got a big kid from City Council. It's Brad Bradford. Brad, why are you here tonight?
I'm here with friends in the community. We've got dozens of community organizations, Scouts, hockey, lots of folks, Rotaries out here, and we're all doing it to give back with our friends at Access Storage. Toy Mountain is such an important program here in the city of Toronto and across the GTA. CTV stepping up to make sure that kids have gifts under the tree at Christmas, and I think it's just, it's something we can all feel good about, helping out and bringing a little bit of Christmas cheer under the Christmas tree.
Well done, well said. We have Paige here from the Rotary.
Hi. So we are here because we are a partner with Access Storage. They're a very community-minded organization, and they've been a long-time sponsor so that we could do the work that we do to support the community around us.
Wow, well said. Everybody, a round of applause for Brad and Paige. Okay, I'm moving on. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me. You may see a couple of familiar faces here. We have our friends,
Sharon.
And Randy.
Oh, I forgot to say my name.
That's okay.
Sharon.
Sharon, she's not used to being on camera. So you may
Oh,
recognize
no.
from Sharon, Lois, and Bram, we have Sharon and Randy, the new iteration of the group. Yeah, people get excited when they hear Sharon, Lois. Yeah, say a big wow, everybody. Wow. Okay, and so why are you here today?
Well, this is a lovely program to support. Toys for children. I love children. Toys are important for them. We're happy to be participants in this important project. And this is our community. We love to support events in the community, and our publisher of our books, Penguin Random House Canada, has donated books to Toy Mountain this year, so we're very proud of that as well.
Okay, so I know one of the great things about Toy Mountain, it's not just about Christmas, it's about Hanukkah, it's about Kwanzaa, all the holidays. Do you have any special memories that you recall as a child? Because your mom's right here.
Yeah.
No pressure.
So in the Hanukkah tradition, we make something called potato latkes, or potato pancakes. My favorite, all-time favorite the most food. delicious dish in the world. And many cultures have different versions of them. And in one of the holiday songs that Sharon, Lois, and Bram sing, the actual recipe for the potato latkes is in the song.
Wow,
Yeah.
fantastic. I have a young man over here who was, we went to the Sunnybrook School the other day, and now he's here again today. How are you doing?
Good.
What's going on? Now, you've got a hockey game coming up.
Yeah, I do.
You gonna score me a goal?
Yes.
You've heard it here, folks. He's gonna score me a goal. So here we are. Like, who else wants to talk? Anybody else wants to talk? Let's get Aaron in here. Oh, we got another child. Sorry, I'll come to you in a second. Aaron, this place is crazy. Also, the food here is fantastic. I just keep going over. If I have sugar on my lips, it's because I've been eating those sugar donuts. How are you feeling about all of this?
Feeling so inspired by all of this. All of the people here are coming out to make such a difference to support over 70,000 children across the GTA. And because of their support, we're able to help these children and these families have a wonderful holiday season, regardless of what they celebrate. So thank you all for being here.
Okay, also, if you donate here, you can win free storage, which Jan will tell you about. You get to say hello and goodbye, because we're going now. Say goodbye.
Hello.
And goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, that's it from us right now. We have so much more from Access Storage. We have my friend Melissa DeMarco's here. Everybody say we're building a toy mountain. We'll be back.
Just amazing. Gotta love it. Thanks, everybody. Well, also tonight, protecting parked cars from possible crime, especially during the holiday season. Toronto Police launches its Lock It or Lose It campaign.
Mall parking lots are packed these days with shoppers inside hunting for holiday gifts.
But those unattended vehicles can be prime targets for criminals, and police want to make sure your presents are protected. CTV's Sean Leathong has more on their Lock It or Lose It campaign.
The police have been leaving a little something on windshields at the mall today, but it's not a ticket.
They gave you an excellent review, so they gave you the notification that you did lock your car.
Brilliant.
That's got to feel good.
I guess so. The annual Lock It or Lose It campaign hit Sherway Gardens as police were checking the parking lot to make sure cars are safe.
Checking your doors. If your doors are locked, if your windows are rolled up or just put up, and all your valuables are out of sight.
The idea is to remind shoppers to protect their vehicles because over the holiday season,
there is an increase in smash and grabs because people are leaving items of value.
and police are leaving a card indicating whether the car was locked and if valuables were in plain sight.
I try to keep all my stuff safe, and I guess I did it today.
Or indicating if the car was unlocked or if there was something left in the vehicle open to crime.
It said that I had valuables in plain view. So
Tough.
that's bad. I know, bad on me.
Sandra Stewart says she thinks the program's a good idea as a reminder to be vigilant in keeping valuables safe.
But I'm sure mine was locked, but I just had valuables in view, so.
Looked like you were moving pretty fast anyways.
I am. I'm powering through this, so.
So shoppers are warned, keep valuables out of sight and lock it or risk losing it. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
The TTC is rolling out a new initiative to discourage fare dodging. The transit agency is now deploying plainclothes fare inspectors in addition to the uniformed ones you may see on vehicles or platforms. The TTC says this approach was previously tested in 2018 and reintroduced 3 weeks ago as part of an education campaign. Tickets range from $235 to $425. Officials say the TTC loses $140 million annually to fare evasion.
Taylor Swift is chalking up another achievement as the end of the year approaches.
1, 2, 3.
Spotify revealed its annual Wrapped list, telling users and artists who had the most streaming time in 2024. Taylor Swift was named global top artist, streamed 26 billion times over the year. She was joined in the top 3 by Toronto's own The Weeknd in second place and Bad Bunny in third.
The official trailer for Disney's live-action musical Snow White is out.
My parents always said this forest was a magical place.
The film stars Rachel Zegler as the title character, while Gal Gadot plays the evil queen. It was made by the same producers who worked on Wicked. It lands in theaters March 21st.
Fans of a few hit HBO series now know when they can expect them to return for new seasons.
Welcome to the White Lotus in Sicily.
An executive with Warner Brothers Discovery says seasons 3 of The White Lotus will stream starting February. That's according to Variety. It'll be followed by a spring 2025 debut of season 2 of The Last of Us and the release of a new Game of Thrones prequel later in the year. Season 3 of Euphoria, meanwhile, is on track for a 2026 launch.
After the break, what Ontarians reach for the most at the LCBO. The top booze trends for 2024, including a non-alcoholic beverage that saw big growth this year.
These people with the sledgehammer, they were banging the glass, and the glass was shattering.
Updating our top stories, police are investigating a brazen smash and grab robbery over the noon hour in Markham. At least 10 suspects were seen smashing the windows of a jewelry store at Markville Mall. Police arrested 6 people after they fled the scene, while the search is ongoing for the others involved.
This is not acceptable at a time when Canadians' pocketbooks are hurting.
Pushback from the federal transport minister today as Air Canada became the latest Canadian carrier to add carry-on baggage fees for low fare types. The move impacts flyers with basic tickets going to North America and Southern Sun destinations. They'll still be able to bring a personal item for free.
If you only realize the roads are slippery when you're hitting the brakes to avoid a collision, it's probably not a good time.
And police say now is the time to adjust your driving habits as a blast of snow hits the GTA. A winter weather travel advisory remains in place in Toronto as officials advise staying off the roads if possible. The city outlined its response plans as Richmond Hill municipal workers remain on strike, potentially slowing down the cleanup there.
Remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca and by downloading the CTV News app.
On the markets, the Canadian dollar closed at 71.1 U.S. cents, up a fraction. Oil was down, or make that up, $57.18, up $1.43. And the TSX Composite Index ended at 25,641.18, up just over 5 points.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
The LCBO has released its 2024 sales highlights, and one type of product saw standout growth last year despite containing little to no alcohol at all. Products with no alcohol sold by the LCBO saw 73% growth year over year. Customers also shifted towards smaller format options of wine and spirits instead of full-size bottles. Ready-to-drink products remained a popular choice in 2024, but pre-mixed cocktails stood out as the fastest-growing segment with a 17% jump.
While politicians faced off in Parliament today, the House of Commons also came together for a celebration of Canada's Summer Olympics and Paralympics athletes.
CTV's Michael Couture has the details from Ottawa.
She's been at the top of her sport, winning weightlifting medals in consecutive Olympic Games.
But even for Maude Charon, being honored on Parliament Hill is pretty cool.
Just chatting one-on-one with people. We're all human and we all have like passions to talk about, and I feel like sport brings that passion with everyone.
Now, the pandemic meant her gold medal win in Tokyo was a little more muted. It's why this moment was so special. Hundreds of Olympians and Paralympians were honored on the floor of the House of Commons. For 6-time Paralympian and 3-time gold medalist Pat Anderson, these types of events are gratifying.
So, I hope that what we do is, inspiring and empowering.
Empowering like that moment when the entire country cheered on the men's 4x100 relay team as they captured gold.
It means the world to me because we had an impact on everyone that watched the race and gave them a moment of joy.
27 medals at the Paris Olympics marks Canada's second largest haul in a summer games. The chef de mission says even more is possible if lawmakers commit more money to these athletes.
We are in a good place, but if we have more funding, we're gonna be out there.
It's something the government acknowledges needs improvement.
It's game-changing, right? It would be the difference between not just the color of a medal, but whether you make the team overall.
Today, the focus was on everyone being part of Team Canada.
It's not every day we get to bring everyone together in one place to be able to have opportunities like this.
And more opportunities to hear "O Canada" on the Olympic podium. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Maple Leafs welcome the Nashville Predators tonight. Toronto coming off a 4-1 win at home against the Chicago Blackhawks that saw Austin Matthews score his first goal since coming back from injury. The Leafs are 9-2 in their last 11 games, but have a tough schedule in the month of December, playing 15 games in total. The Predators have lost 4 straight. Puck drop at Scotiabank Arena is set for 7:30.
Here's Sarah Nurse and Izzy Daniel. Lauren Bernard. Izzy Daniel scores!
The Toronto Scepters were in action in Ottawa last night. Toronto took a 2-1 lead into the second period. However, it was all Ottawa after that. They went on to win the game 3-2. The Scepters will be back on the ice on Saturday to take on the Minnesota Frost.
Scotty finds Pirtle. There you go. And the foul.
And the Raptors were looking for a second straight win when they took on the Indiana Pacers last night. Scotty Barnes scored a career-high 35 points for the Raptors. They ended up winning 122-111. The team is back on the court Thursday to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Andrea.
Hey, Mish. Okay, I've been at CTV for 27 years. Toy Mountain is 29 years old. Melissa DeMarco's been covering entertainment goes just that long. Melissa,
Yes.
why are you here today? What a surprise for me.
Yes, well, thank you. I mean, this is such a great initiative. I mean, Access Storage is all about the community and giving back. So when I knew that they were teaming up with CTV's Toy Mountain and Salvation Army, and this time of year, kids really need to feel special, and this was great. So yes, it's special to be here and giving wonderful gifts to kids. And I'm giving like a Barbie doll, something that I never had as a kid.
Melissa DeMarco is a living doll, everybody, as we build a toy mountain.
We are into the month of December now, and with each day that passes, our toy mountain is taking shape.
It really is. It's been a bountiful night thanks to the team at Access Storage and everybody who dropped by, and that's where we find our Andrea. Andrea, you've been having fun there tonight.
Way too much fun, way too much fun. But before we go, we just want Jan has done enough already with all these toys. But Jan, you also have a donation you'd like to make to the Salvation Army.
Absolutely. I would like to present a check for $25,000 to the Salvation Army in hopes of building that toy mountain that we're all looking for this year. And I'd like to give that to you. Thank you guys for all
That's
that you do.
unbelievable, Jen. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. Many families will receive the gift of Christmas this year because of Access Storage. Thank you.
And again, you can, if you make a donation, if you bring a toy to Access Storage, you can.
Yeah, if you bring a toy to any one of our 100+ locations in Ontario, we will make sure that we get it to the Salvation Army. You can enter in your name for a chance or a draw to win free storage for 1 year.
Wow. Okay, that's it for me right now. Send it back to Jess, and then the McGregor Carolers will sing us out at the end of the show. Take it away, Jess.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Andrea, and I wish I could sing. I would join in, but I'm going to do your forecast instead. We're still watching for messy weather as we make our way through this early part of our evening. So keep that in mind and always drive according to the road and weather conditions. Again, the wind really is our biggest challenge. Yes, we're dealing with snow, but the wind is not helping. We're still looking at that travel advisory for us in the GTA, so keep that in mind and just take your time. Sitting at 0, feeling like -5. We got quite a few communities sitting around the freezing mark as we step into this early part of our evening. A lot of that flurry activity tapers off as we start the day tomorrow, but we're not done with the chance of active weather throughout the rest of this week. But it does get a little warmer on Sunday. Not sunnier, but warmer, so maybe something to look forward to as we see rain roll in next week. And a reminder about the new Lotto 649 with 2 big jackpots to be won on 1 ticket. Tonight's classic jackpot is $5 million. And the new Gold Ball jackpot is $40 million. You can head to olg.ca for more information.
Thank you, Jess. That's it for us, but you can join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Allman with your next local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Jess Smith and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a wonderful night.
Ohio, God.